am loving Jerry McGovern. Jerry is the man. Why? Because Jerry McGovern is the design director for Land Rover, and he was responsible for bringing that very special and unique car called the Evoque to fruition. He's now also waved his wand over this, the all-new Range Rover for 2013.
Great design is the gateway to customer desirability. It's about making that emotional connection. People say, what was the inspiration for the new Range Rover? Well, the inspiration is its heritage. And when you look at that original vehicle and look at the vehicle we have today, that lineage is clear.
Now yes, although you can clearly see those original Range Rover genes from 40 years ago in this new model, it's been developed from the ground up. The boxy shape has been chiseled to look more sleek, certainly more rounded around the headlamp area with funky new taillights as well, but it still looks clean and unfussy. New Range Rover though is less about the way it looks and more about what it's made of. The fourth generation boasts an all-aluminium monocoque body that is not welded together but uses adhesive and rivets to come together into what they say is a much stronger package. This unique process happens at a state-of-the-art new aluminium manufacturing facility at Solihull in the United Kingdom, the largest of its kind in the world.
One of the principal reasons we use aluminium is for lightweight. The intention is to save as much weight as possible on the body so we can get the secondary weight saves in the vehicle, and that adds to a big change in the performance of the vehicle, not only in the attributes such as ride and handling and dynamics, but also improves the fuel economy and, as importantly now, the CO2.
The use of aluminium means new Range Rover is 420 kilograms lighter than its predecessor. That's a massive saving and a real achievement for the world's first all-aluminium bodied SUV. This side panel here is the largest single pressing in any vehicle in the world and weighs just 7 kilograms.
There are a lot of urban myths about aluminium. However, the reality is aluminium absorbs more energy per kilogram than steel. So if you make something out of aluminium, not only do you make it light, but you actually make it strong. So aluminium is a good material of choice, not only for lightweight, but for great strength as well.
All cars obviously go through huge amounts of testing before they can get offered to the public. This in fact has been through 18 months of testing in 20 different countries, including Morocco, which is where they've brought us for the launch of the vehicle. And since I've never ever driven on dunes, what better place for us to do our testing?
The challenges of engineering a car that can not only go up a mountain, drive at 5,000 meters, go up Big Red in Dubai, go up the Moab boulders out in the US, and also do 155 is really about designing a suspension and a chassis architecture that's capable of doing all of that.
The new chassis architecture includes four-corner suspension with double wishbones doing duty up front and a multi-link system at the rear, providing excellent wheel travel. A spot of rock crawling really showed this off, with the Rangy barely breaking into a sweat for this steep and rocky incline, which also tested the increased ground clearance. Unfortunately, we didn't get to take it for a swim, which is sad as it does have a massively increased wading depth of 900 millimeters, and that's been made possible because they've repositioned the air intake system on this new model. But as I've never been dune driving, this was where we concentrated most of our attention. It was also a great way to experience firsthand the increase in approach and departure angles over the previous model. So one of the new features for 2013 is the auto terrain response, which analyzes the driving conditions using sensors around the car, and the internal algorithms change these settings in less than a second. Although the auto mode worked brilliantly on the rock crawl, we reverted to manually selecting the sand mode for this first-time experience. I did find the 8-speed auto transmission quite tricky to control in the dunes, with about a millimeter's difference on the accelerator between loads of power and none. Of course, this was probably not helped by being in low range, but it was important to make sure things didn't get too out of hand on the dunes. And it is quite easy to get carried away with all that power. We were driving the Big Daddy 5-litre V8 supercharged, a petrol engine putting out 375 kilowatts and 625 newtons. It's a familiar engine to Jag fans and will be joined by a 4.4-litre V8 diesel. The weight saving that's resulted from using aluminium for the body means Land Rover's been able to introduce a baby diesel in the form of a 3-litre V6, offering 190 kilowatts and 600 newton meters. Unfortunately, it appears we won't be getting this exciting addition to the range, at least not immediately in South Africa. The benefits of the aluminium body are plentiful, and yet another area you'll feel the weight saving is on the road. New Range Rover is not only 10% more aerodynamic than the previous model, but also seems so much more maneuverable, not a piece of metal you're lugging around. Body roll has been reduced thanks to the new 2-channel dynamic response system, which acts independently on the front and rear axles to change the vehicle's behavior in cornering, or for quick lane changes, as the case may be in Morocco. Here, white lines demarcating lanes seem to be more of a suggestion than a rule. The goal of making a lighter car is extended through the interior as well. So you've got this massive panoramic glass roof, which is supposed to make the inside feel lighter and airier. They've simplified the center console, lost quite a few buttons and knobs, more in line with the Range Rover aesthetic. Classy, simple, elegant. Another interesting thing they've done in the interior is they've put acoustic lamination on the windscreen and on the side door glass to reduce noise levels inside.
So the new Range Rover has the world's first 3D surround sound system. This system has 1700 watts of power. It has 29 loudspeakers strategically placed throughout the cabin. It's the absolute pinnacle of audio performance that is peerless.
All this focus on interior improvements isn't just for the driver. Apparently, one of the main goals in developing the 2013 model was to give it greater passenger appeal, to try and attract the kind of buyer who prefers to be chauffeured, you see. As such, the new Range Rover adds 42mm to its wheelbase, and all of that extra room goes straight to the rear passengers. There's also an optional executive class seating package that offers individual seats that massage, recline, and take your mind off the Moroccan style of driving. It's all about comfort and practicality.
The split tailgate is a very important design feature of Range Rover. It's now in its 4th generation. We've reproportioned the split so it's even more functional, and it's powered.
It really has so many new features, but one of the things they're shouting the loudest about is its greenness. It currently consists of 50% recycled material, with a goal of getting that up to 75%. Apart from the metal, the leather, the wood, plastics, and even the manufacturing plant all have a tree-hugging element to them. In fact, 85% of the car is recyclable. A hybrid diesel engine is also in development for addition to the range pretty soon. It's a far cry from the gas-guzzling reputation these kind of cars started with. New Range Rover retains all of its off-road prowess and all of its on-road presence. It's classier inside and outside, but sustainability is really the word that keeps coming up around it. Granted, that's going to be more relevant with some models than with others, but it's good progress. No doubt that all aluminium body is going to come at a price when the Rangy Daddy arrives in South Africa in January 2013, but it could possibly be an advancement worth paying for. Not just good progress, great progress, Jerry. Great progress. You're the man.